Most deals that fall apart in Montreal don't die because the buyer lost interest. They die at two gates: inspection and appraisal. Today, I'll show you exactly what kills deals and how to win anyway with clean negotiation plays that work in Quebec. Before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to Le Studio Canes, located in the South Shore of Montreal. Whether you're looking to record a podcast or need some help with your short form content, reach out to them. You can book directly on their website at lestudiocanes.ca. Robin's absolutely amazing to work with. Please reach out to her. Without further ado, I'm LJ with LJ Realties in Montreal. I've helped hundreds of buyers across condos, homes, and plexes. When an offer is accepted, we enter the conditions window. We inspect the property, your lender does their underwriting, which can include an appraisal, and we decide if we lift conditions. This is where small surprises can become big problems. The goal of this episode is simple: turn surprises into decisions you feel good about. There are two pillars of risk that we'll cover. First, inspection risk, things in the building itself that change your safety, maintenance plan, or renovation budget. Second, appraisal risk, the bank's opinion of value versus your price. We'll give you a practical triage for each and a short negotiation playbook so you stay in control. Let's start by discussing how to read an inspection report. A good inspector will flag dozens of items. Don't panic. Most are just regular maintenance. What we care about are structural and safety items that move you from "this can wait" to "this changes the deal." In Montreal's housing stock, typical red flags include foundation movement or water intrusion, significant roofing or building envelope issues, outdated or unsafe electrical like knob and tube or aluminum branch wiring, plumbing concerns such as older cast iron stacks or problematic Poly B pipes, environmental items like vermiculite, asbestos, or an abandoned oil tank, aging HVAC that's near the end of life, and for condo buildings, systemic issues that the inspector can't see but the co-ownership documents will reveal. Think underfunded contingency funds, frequent special assessments, or big-ticket garage and membrane work coming. For plexes, add tenancy realities to your inspection lens, actual rent rolls, condition of tenant spaces, and any work that would require access or vacancy to complete. We grade findings as green, yellow, or red. Green is normal wear and tear, note it, budget it. Yellow is an issue that's fixable with a clear scope. Think a section of the roof, a panel upgrade, or a minor foundation crack. This might be worth a credit or a price adjustment based on the quotes received. Red is a material risk that changes the math or safety. An active water entry, serious structural issues, widespread electrical hazards, or a condo reserve picture that just points to major near-term special assessments. Red usually trigger a renegotiation or a walkaway if the seller won't meet reality. The key is to get contractor quotes when possible, so we're negotiating from facts and not feelings. There are 5 levers we can play with. Ask the seller to repair before closing with permits and receipts. Request a credit at closing. Ask for a price reduction that matches the quotes. Or ask for a short extension of conditions to finish the due diligence. And finally, you can walk away and recover your deposit if the promise to purchase was drafted properly, making these items conditions of the sale. In Montreal, I prefer credits or price adjustments rather than the seller to repair, unless the work is simple and verifiable. It avoids last-minute scheduling issues and lets you pick the contractor. Condo buyers have 2 data sources: the inspector's look at the unit, plus the declaration of co-ownership, bylaws, minutes, budgets, and contingency fund or reserve fund study. Red flags here are meeting minutes that hint at building envelope or garage issues without a funded plan, low reserve balances versus the building's age, or a history of frequent special assessments and lawsuits. If the documents suggest big work is coming, that's a yellow to red light. We either price that risk in today or we move on. Recently, we negotiated a $30,000 holdback at the notary because the building had been experiencing problems with the HVAC system. In the event that a special assessment came to be in the course of the next 12 months, this holdback would be used to pay for the cost of it. After the 12-month period, any amount left in the holdback would be returned to the seller. In Quebec, the certificate of location matters. If it's outdated or reveals a compliance issue, like a shed encroachment or a deck not conforming, that's not an inspection item, but it can still affect your decision. We coordinate with the notary, and if needed, the notary will force the sellers to pay for a title insurance to protect you from these irregularities. It's important to note that the title insurance alone will not correct these irregularities unless requested by the municipality or a neighbor. When you eventually sell this property, you will also be responsible for paying for title insurance for the next buyer if the irregularities have not been corrected while you were the owner. An appraisal isn't about how much you love the home. It's the lender's valuation based on recent comparable sales and adjustments. Appraisals can come in at value, low, or very rarely above. A low appraisal means your mortgage amount will be constrained by the appraised value, not the purchase price. The gap must be solved with either a price change, more cash, or a different structure. I would say that roughly 98% of the deals that we do have appraisals that come back at value. 2% of the time, we have appraisals that come back below the accepted offer amount. In that situation, we take another look at the comparables and we decide whether we are overpaying or the evaluator overlooked an important comparable. If we believe that the evaluator has made a mistake in his calculations, we ask the bank to send another evaluator to do another appraisal. We also put together a list of comparables that justify the valuation in order to get the bank to agree with the accepted offer price. Our team believes in pulling comparables before making any offers, and because of that, we seldom have problems with the appraisals that hinder the transaction. Nevertheless, appraisers are humans, and everyone's allowed to make a mistake or have a difference of opinion. It has happened to us in the past that an appraiser had never worked in the neighborhood that we had the accepted offer in, and thus didn't understand the intricacies of being on the south side of the river versus the north side of the river in the same borough. On the other hand, sometimes our buyers really fall in love with the property and we find ourselves in a multiple offer situation. The buyer has made it clear that they can absolutely not live without this home. In these scenarios, the buyer is usually willing to offer more than the property is worth. Because we've reviewed the comparables, we can confidently say that the property is likely not going to appraise for that value and that they need to be prepared to cover the difference. This way, at least they're not surprised and we don't find ourselves in an uncomfortable situation. Our goal is always to educate and prevent surprises as much as possible. If the appraisal comes in low, you have 4 realistic options. Renegotiate the price with the seller using the appraisal as evidence, add cash to cover the gap if you love the home and the monthly still works, restructure with your mortgage broker, sometimes a different product or lender solves it, or walk if the numbers no longer fit your plan. We always choose the path that you feel good about. Inspection findings and appraisals only help if they're on time. We book the inspection within a few days of acceptance, send the lender package on day 1, and line up any appraisal promptly if the lender requests it. If we need more time to complete due diligence, we ask for a clean extension before the conditions expire so that there's no last-minute panic. We recommend walking away from the purchase when a red flag repair fundamentally changes the investment thesis or safety and the seller won't adjust, when condo documents point to major unavoidable assessments without a plan, or when the appraisal gap makes you stretch your buffer and puts you at risk at renewal. A graceful exit is a win compared to buying the wrong property. Great deals survive inspection and appraisal because the plan is clear. Identify the risks, put a real number on it, choose the right lever, and keep the timeline clean. Buyers feel in control, settlers feel that the ask is fair, and closings stay on track. And if you're under offer right now and not being represented by a real estate broker, book a 15-minute strategy call. We'll read your report with you, game out the negotiation, and make sure you either keep a good deal alive or walk away clean. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to catching you on the next video.